Hey, what's up everybody? It's your dude Black Hat here, and this is Gavin. Woo! And this is a very special episode of Built to Destroy because we got something really kooky behind us that we want to show you guys. These guys are from Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, bud.
And they built one rad Miata that is worthy of a Terra Crew episode for sure. It's worthy of Donut Media as well.
Yeah.
That's Bob Hall, the creator of the Miata. And Rad Factory's done a pretty cool job of building this car. I gotta say, I love it.
If I were going to be gallivanting about in Baja, it would be the first choice.
Give me the basics first. So like year, make, model, like what is it?
This is a 96 Miata with 200,000 miles on it.
Nice.
And we slapped some 10-inch long coilovers on it, full custom tube chassis, as well as like customized Apaco off-roadster kit. So there's a guy that makes a sort of kind of long travel kit for these. And then we absolutely maximize that capability by just like customizing and like hacking away at that and making it better and redesigning some stuff.
Okay, cool. And
Cycles about 12 inches of travel.
12 inches travel all the way around?
Yep. Apaco Motorsports makes a kit. It's great for like mall crawling, but you can't actually do anything with it.
Gotcha.
So we chopped out the entire shock mount and ran an actual tube chassis. This goes all the way into the roll cage on both sides, so we could fit these bigger 10-inch coils on it.
All right.
It's 10 by 2.5 up front. We got the eye-box springs on it. We modified some of the front A-arms and stuff. So it is like 4 inches wider on each side. And we just kind of stuffed everything into a package that it definitely shouldn't be in.
Okay, so we have the hood open, so let's talk about the engine. So it's just a standard Miata engine?
Yeah, so this is the original motor with 200,000 miles on it. We just slapped this Jackson Racing supercharger on there.
All right.
So we are back up to 3 digits worth of horsepower.
Okay, cool.
So because of the 30-inch tires and the re-gearing, we were at like 80 horsepower at the wheels.
Dang.
And now we're back up to like 117. So like we're almost the factory specs.
So so half of the horsepower gets cut through the drivetrain on this thing.
Yeah. Well, and it's just so much weight. Like this thing was designed to have like 14-inch rims with like itty-bitty little tires.
Right.
These massive mud trains are just too much for it. So it is re-geared. I don't know the gearing. Limited slip in the back, but we're at least back to like a reasonable amount of power. This thing with any more power, you'd probably be uncontrollable.
Yeah, start breaking stuff.
Yeah, this is actually version 2 of the car.
Okay.
We bought this car at a Gambler way back in the day. We saw it ripping around, and then it was for sale the next day. And then Dylan, the filmer for the channel, he actually drove it, broke it, fixed it, basically every week for like 4 years. I mean, just absolutely ruined it.
I think those are the videos I've seen where it's like hitting tabletops and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it had that crazy paint job. Yeah. So that was back when Dylan was doing all the fab work, and he's an incredible filmer, awful fabricator.
Got it.
And so about a year ago, he knew that I love fabricating off-road rigs, and he was like, hey, do you mind helping me build version 2 of this car? So that's what this is.
Got it.
We took all the knowledge of breaking the other car at least a dozen times and made it this, which we've only broke one time, and that's because Dylan hit a wall at like 40 miles an hour.
Nice. Well, these don't look like stock headlights. These are kind of like some eBay headlights, or
yeah. So Quake LED hooked us up with a bunch of LEDs for this. This is actually for a Jeep. It's the same bezel.
Oh, okay, right on.
So it's literally like a nice LED headlight for a Jeep. And those are actually like DOT and everything, so like technically if we wanted to, we could take it on the road.
Yeah.
It drives like trash on asphalt, for sure. But we can if we had to.
Tires and wheels. So are these look like side-by-side tires. Are they side-by-side tires?
Yeah, so these are side-by-side tires on the actual Miata rims. Like these are the stock Miata rims.
14-inch wheels or whatever?
Yep. The goal on this was to keep it as Miata as possible. So like, this is the full regular Miata bumper.
Okay.
And then the whole bash bar that I built is actually inside of the bumper.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So like, this has a full bash bar that I guess we have tested. Dylan jumped this about 10-15 feet in the air and just got bucked forward and landed exclusively on this. Like the car, like no suspension, no wheels, no nothing. Like landed, balanced and fell back to the wheels, no damage to the car.
Heck yeah, man.
So it's sturdy back there.
Now that you built a full tube chassis and with a cage, you know, I'm sure this thing's really stout now.
Yeah. No, it makes all the difference. Like, because all the suspension is tied into the cage that we built.
Yeah.
Anything that's really taking load is going into that cage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Talk about the interior here. So I see some custom door panels.
Yeah,
you
so
got your
this
cage up here. Gnarly studded tire.
Yeah, so we do ice racing on the frozen lakes back in Denver during the winter. Georgetown has a sick ice racing event. And so we actually, Dylan built all 4 of these tires. It was like 25 hours worth of work.
Yeah.
200 bolts per tire.
Oh my gosh.
But this thing on ice with these tires drives better than in any other configuration.
That's crazy.
It's on rails.
You have you have four of these tires?
4 of these bad boys, and you just pray one of them doesn't let loose.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I can imagine that. Oh jeez. So some like Mastercraft seats, looks like.
Yeah. So
harnesses.
everything's just been like Craigslist buys.
Okay, cool.
You know, this
Excellent.
is a pretty budget build,
Yeah.
honestly. But putting these suspension seats in was actually a nightmare because these cars are so small.
Right.
I actually had to cut the transmission tunnel. I guess this side's been welded and grinded a little better than the driver's side. The transmission tunnel is like smashed into the transmission to fit these suspension seats.
Squeeze the seat in there.
Especially on this side, so this cage is built for the Hoopty class for the Mint 400.
Okay.
So all the race specs is why this cage is like so tall.
Right. And then it's
so
that's why
weird.
it's is this 1.5 or
1 3/4
inch and 3/4
DOM,
DOM,
09 wall.
Yeah. I see you got an array of switches here. I'm guessing that's for your lights and stuff.
Yeah, so we've got like fans, lights.
Okay.
You know, this is like if you do need to charge. And then we do have an actual kill switch because there is a battery drain somewhere. And we never have the time to actually chase it down, so I just install the kill switch.
Yeah, I can imagine that's kind of a nightmare. Is it a sequential?
No, so this is IRP. They sent us this, and it's like a short throw, but it's up top. So when you're driving, it's like right
it's easier
there.
to grab.
It's actually been super cool. We literally installed this while it was parked at SEMA.
Oh, nice.
So
Heck yeah.
like this will be my first time seeing how it feels.
You haven't had a chance to check it out yet?
Yeah, from the trailer 100 yards that way. This is it.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
That steering wheel, man. We got to get you a Terra steering wheel.
Dude, if you're down, we'd love it. Yeah, this is just a little NRG. So this was actually, again, everything about this car, it shouldn't be what it is, right? So like, this isn't a normal quick release. It's like a special thin one that like is awful to get on and off, but it was because we literally couldn't have a normal one without the steering wheel being like way out here.
Understandable for sure.
Yeah.
We have a new steering wheel coming out, and then we're doing a re-iteration of the Death Grip. So
hell yeah.
Stay tuned for that. The new steering wheel is going to be kind of wild. So
all right. Well, clearly we're about wild stuff.
Yeah. Let's keep moving back. You guys have your jack. Great. Very, very desert-like.
So yeah, this is all the rear end is all plated and welded in back here.
And you said this thing does have a subframe, right? It's not a unibody car.
So it's a unibody with a subframe.
With a subframe.
Got it. Exactly. So the subframe houses the whole rear diff and the control arms and all that stuff. So like if you break control arms and stuff or bend everything up, it's actually pretty quick. Like I said, it's like an RC car. Like you can just kind of like swap out parts versus like if you destroy the frame on your taco, like sorry.
Oh yeah,
you know,
sure,
like
And so I see your gas tank is like right here.
Yeah, so the ultimate goal is to get a fuel cell in there. We just haven't found a fuel cell that fits in a nice way.
Yeah.
And for most of what we're doing, like it hasn't been an issue. If we do end up racing this in the Mint, we'll have to do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, you will. Yeah, for sure.
So that's actually why this part of the cage is just bolted with some grade 8s. Is actually because we knew that we ultimately want to get a fuel cell in there, and so getting this harness bar out is actually like important for later. So the rear end right now has 2.0s instead of 2.5s through the bumps back there because the valving's not quite right. Definitely squats real hard off jump, so if it's like too steep of a lip, the compression's not enough and it'll get you real bucky.
It'll get you a little bucky. Well, I think putting a 2.5-inch shock to start would be
exactly.
Would
So
help.
Working with some different companies trying to figure out a solution for that.
Working with different companies. Hey, King, Fox, ADS, whoever else. Yeah, send these fools some shocks, some internal bypass. That's what they need.
Yeah, exactly. Because we
bypasses.
can't run 2 shocks.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and internal bypasses are really cool, and they're very tunable. So
and the car's
you gotta
really
take them apart
light.
to tune them, but that's okay.
That's not too bad. Yeah,
it is what it is.
Like, and the car's light. It's only 2,300 pounds with a driver.
Okay,
so,
sick.
Like, it doesn't need anything too crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, your spring rate's probably pretty small, and then yeah, you shouldn't need too much valving.
Again, most of this was bought like off Craigslist,
Gotcha,
right? So we got these off of some dude who had like a really early stage like Ranger build.
Yeah.
And they had 2 shocks up front.
Gotcha.
And so these are just valved way differently than what we need.
Right.
And they're just smaller 2.0s.
Yeah. Well, and we have lots of homies that are very good at valving shocks.
All right, yeah.
So,
we'll let them rip it as hard as they want if
yeah.
they'll valve it afterwards.
Right. Keith, Roy, Kevin, whoever wants to help these guys, you know, give them a quick talking to. Some of those guys, you can send them the corner weights, and then the wheel travel, and just like a couple of things, and they can give you a good bass tune. Like,
dude, that'd be sick.
Right
Yeah.
well, right on, man. I love this thing. I think it's super fun, and it's super cool, and the fact that you guys like jump it legitimately and it does pretty well, like, that's rad, man. We're out in Adelanto. We have an event this weekend. This will come out, I'm sure, way after. Yeah. But there's an empty lot across the street with some 2-track in it. So you guys want to go rip a little bit and get some footage of this thing going?
We're in the desert where this thing wants to go play. I think there's no better place to do it.
All right, cool. Thanks, dude. Thanks for letting me drive it.
Dude, thanks for taking me for a rip.
Yeah,
That's like what this thing might actually be capable of with a real driver. That's sick.
I wouldn't call myself a real driver, but
dude,
you know.
compared to me, dude, nothing too crazy. We got a little bit of rubber, but nothing too bad.
You bonded out a couple times in the rear. This thing's awesome. I love it.
Dude,
it's different. It's fun. You know, you guys are just like crushing it with it. It's solid. It drives pretty nice, man. I gotta say it. I was thoroughly impressed. Thanks. I mean, I don't like to drive other people's stuff, but you know, I got pretty comfortable pretty quick, and there was a couple spots where we were pushing it pretty hard, you know.
Yeah, and it did well. Like,
yeah, it did fine.
Once you're going fast enough to stay on top, it did pretty well.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just your experience over, like, I've never driven whoops, so I take it too chill.
Yeah,
you knew like a little bit where to push, where to not push.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sick, man. Like it's finally home in the desert where we wanted it to always live.
Heck yeah.
And it's chewing up some dirt. It's having some fun. Appreciate you guys having us out. If you're ever down in the Denver area, we can take you to the track.
Yeah, for sure.
This mamma jamma, and yeah, dude. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys, man.
Heck yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and if you got something cool and goofy that you want us to feature, let us know. Hit us up in the comments, and we'll make it happen. These guys drove out of their way to come meet me this morning, and then, yeah, I'm stoked. This is sick.
Dude, yeah, the Rad Factory is always down for a good time.
Hell
So,
yeah,
no,
right on.
appreciate you having us out.
Heck yeah, man. All right, guys. See you on the next one.